Hi guys, welcome back down here on the foreshore of the River Thames in London. Now there's this thing I do every time and I really try not to do it, but hey, something catches my eye. The first thing I see, that kind of determines what the day is going to go like. So let's see, the first thing I saw was this. Can you make out that detail? That's why I always take these medieval pieces with me. They are early, Kingston. I love them, absolutely love them. This little drip detail. I'll show you a bigger picture on the screen. May have had a bit of luck here. It looks suspiciously like a little seal. I can't see any details on it, so I'll get that unfolded and see what it is when I get home. Fingers crossed, eh? Here we go, another lovely piece of plate or charger of some kind. And I wonder if I have some pieces of this at home, so yes, taking it with me. It looks very familiar. It is, of course, tin glazed English Delftware. Yeah, get this cleaned up at home. Let's see if I've got any corresponding pieces. Love it. Now I know at least one person who's going to feel my pain here. I'm paging you, Flo Fines. Look at this. The curse of the, I think, partial buckle continues. Yeah, look at that. Oh, what a beauty that would have been. Still cute just like that, isn't it? That would have been a lovely little buckle. Alright, wish me luck on this one because quite often it looks round. It looks like it might be something exciting. Come on, there's gotta be, hasn't it? It feels thin and round and lovely. Oh man, well, I think that's a token, and I think it does have, oh yeah, it's got something on it. Might need to try that out before I can see what it is. Very nice. Okay, pleased with that. It's a uniface token. I thought it was going to be an earlier medieval one. It looks to me like a 17th, 18th century token, a bit like a PAL token actually, so probably 18th. Okay, maybe a DC or something. I'll check that out when I get back. Well, I can see something nice looking down here, so wish me luck because I haven't gone in for it yet, but come on, please be something good. Looks like it has potential, feels like it has potential. Oh, strange, okay. Take a closer look at that. Well, it could be part of a domed button, two-part. Well, you know what I'm going to say, I wouldn't normally, because that is more than a bit nibbled, but look at the spur on that. It's a long one. So maybe it will come with me, just so I can have this long old spur in my collection. That's a whopper. Little cast metal typeface block, and what does that say? Do we have a brand on there? Let's focus on that. I might have to look at that when I get home. Before diving into a brief history of Austin Wood & Co., I'd like to just mention the Type Library, whose apparent mission is to preserve British printing history. Thanks to them, we can view the Austin Wood & Co. type specimen book online. Their website seems to be down at the moment, but you can check out their Instagram site at instagram.com/type library. I think at some point they even reprinted the Austin Wood & Co. catalogue, so do have a search online for it because it's great. Anyway, here it is. We'll have a little look through here. The Wood and Sharwood Austin Letter Foundry were, as the previous images show, type founders to Her Majesty's government. At the time, this would have been Queen Victoria. Their premises was at 117 to 120 Aldersgate Street, London. Known as Austin Letter Foundry, the business was started sometime before 1819 in Worship Street by Richard Austin, who was later succeeded by his son George. After George Austin died, the foundry was acquired by Richard Mason Wood. In partnership with Samuel and Thomas Sharwood, they moved the business to Aldersgate Street from Worship Street, using the same name of Austin Letter Foundry. Wood died in 1845 and the business was continued by the Sharwood brothers until 1856, when they both died and the business was put up for auction and dispersed. The premises at 117 to 120 Aldersgate Street were eventually taken over by the printer William Hill Collingridge of the City Press. The sons of Richard Mason Wood, James Richard Mason Jr., Roland and Austin, a couple of other guys, all went into the type founding business, forming various partnerships and continuing the name of Austin Type Foundry, albeit at a different address. Now there's loads to unpack in the history of Austin Wood & Co. I didn't really go into who Roland and Austin were, but if you'd like to read a more detailed history of the Austin Type Foundry, head over to London Street View's blog and you can find the link in my video description. It's a good read. I hear you. Why are you taking more red on me? Well, look, here's the reason why. Check out the form there. This is why, so I can identify it with a larger vessel. In some of the books I have at home, let's see, do we see any fingerprints in the glaze? We don't. Look at that beautiful form. So we whack up a likely similar vessel on the screen. This is way cooler than it first appears. Speaking to the one and only pottery doctor Richard Hemery, I've confirmed that this is part of a redware pipkin. It does look to him as well like external lid seating, and at one point in time it would probably have had a lid. He goes on to say that it's true of medieval and early post-medieval pottery that plenty of vessels were obviously designed to take a lid, but very few lids are found in excavation. Now this points to perishable lids and coverings held on with twine, such as animal gut on ointment pots. So how cool! A piece of redware pipkin and the lid could have been ceramic or maybe even animal skin or wooden, which is why we don't find them in situ, they perish. Thanks as ever, Richard, for your help. I've just spotted something down here. It looks like a nice old one. It also sadly looks possibly a tiny bit nibbled. Can you see it? There it is. Is it clearer now? Oh, it's okay, actually. Nice 17th, 18th century button. I'll double check that, but yeah. It looks solid actually, so maybe it is a bit earlier. But very nice little button there with an integral shank, I think. Yep, it's a cast button. So that's been cast in a mould. And it's I guess it was a bit nibbled, but it's taken a bit of a knock, I think, is what's happened. Look at that, wear that today. And I'm sure, oh no, I was going to say something so cringe, I'm sure it would last a lot longer than our buttons, who knows. There we go. Beautiful, nice and heavy. taking that one. I think you just got to give what. I think some days you just got to take whatever gives you, and this is giving. She is giving. Gorgeous bit of green rose redware though. Just turn this up and that. Okay, so yeah, like I always say, it's nothing amazing, etc. It's redware, but look at this whoosh flourish, gorgeous flourish on there to add a bit of decoration. Love that. So yes, Sata, it's coming home with me. So two little fragments of details that I've decided I'll take. One is ever so small partial stem leading down to the bowl of a pipe. I love this detailing here on the stem. So yep, that will come home with me. And then we've got this partial base of a salt glazed jug. There's something I can't resist about them. You know me. I love to see the marks where it's been on a wheel. I love to see the form. And I like the cross section of the fabric. So there we go. There's a little bit of the inside there. Would have held beer or wine. Some sort of liquid most likely. Some sort of alcohol, more to the point. There we go, two little details. Okay, you've got one thing here, interesting. Towel with a raised hole there, or is it a bung hole? So there's that. Look at this. How this is just been wedged in here. It's so good. I've taken a minute to calm down actually, because yes, I made another stupid noise, this time peppered with swearing. I know you can see it. Look at that giant thing. I have not touched it yet. And there's a couple of things I know about this. But look, see where my finger is? You know what it is, surely. One of my favourite things in the world. There we go. My goodness me. What a whopper, and what a beautiful, beautiful pinner's bone. Unreal. Okay, so when I said I know a thing about this, what it is that as they were used, pinner's bones, they didn't just use this top bit. Okay, so these were used for making pins, for sharpening wire into pins, and they would use the entire bone. This is cow or horse. So when this bit got all used up with little notches and grooves because of pin sharpening, then they'd lop a bit off, go further down, go further down, go further down. That's why you see some that are really tiny, tiny pinner's bones. But look at this whopper. So it's my second pinner's bone, and yeah, my God, I love it. I'm so excited about it. Fab. What a whopper. There you go. Have a good look at that. Fantastic. Someone would have been pretty annoyed to lose that, I should think. Yet bones were, you know, around. There were lots of bones about, lots of animals being slaughtered and bones available, but it takes a bit of work to get your desired shape on there. And then look at this here. You can see the interior of the bone there. Love it. So excited. Alright, you can see I am so excited at finding this, my second pinner's bone. You'll remember me finding the first if you've been watching for a few years, and that was a couple of years ago in my other series, The Tide Traveller's Guide. Here's a refresher. Have a look around here and see if I can find some more fragments. There might be more to this around here. So come on, let's go and have a look. But as I'm saying that, something has caught my eye here. Now you know how much I like bone. You know how much I pick bone up, and for 6 years I've been looking for a pinner's bone. Whenever I see a bone that's been cut like this, I am hopeful. Let's try and get this out and see what we've got. No, no way. Look at that. Now that is, if I'm not mistaken, unless they're just little cuts, that is a pinner's bone. We'll get it cleaned up. You can see the notches there where pins were laid into this and then sharpened. So the pinners would use this to sharpen the wire given to them or bought from them by the wire drawers. Yeah, it's a pinner's bone. I am over the moon with this. I'll get it cleaned up and then we'll stick it up on the screen so you can see that. I mean, it's not a fantastic one, but it's a start. It's the start of my pinner's bone collection. It's just got 1, 2, 3 notches. I think it's been broken here. 1, 2, 3 notches, 4th round there. It's been worked beautifully. So, you know, it's a great start to a collection.
So yes, I'd been looking for a pinner's bone for years until I found that one, 7 years to be precise. They are literally one of my favourite things to find on the river. I can't remember if I've ever done a complete pinner's bone 101 on here, so let me try to briefly summarise what a pinner's bone is and explain how it works. A pinner's bone, be very careful how you enunciate this, is one of the tools used by a pinner, someone who made pins from drawn wire. Now this is in the medieval period onwards. 1400 to 1800 is the broad date we usually give to those handmade pins we find, and pinner's bones, when they turn up, we often have them dated around the 15th to 16th century. So the pinner's bone was used to hold drawn and cut wire of varying gauges so that the pinner could sharpen the end of the wire into a point, thus making a pin. The bone has come from an animal, obviously, usually the lower leg of a cow or horse, and it's a secondary or tertiary product, essentially a waste product. After slaughter, the animal would be sectioned up, some parts going to butchers and other meat processors, some parts going to tanneries, and the leftovers, the waste elements I guess, are also used. Nothing really was wasted at this time. So thanks to Renaissance Artisan, we can see how a pinner's bone would have been cut down to size and how it would have been held. I mean, we don't know for sure, but the Renaissance Artisan basically made pinner's bones from the point of getting a cow bone and going through the whole process to see exactly how they were made and how they worked. So here are some images from his website. Do check it out. There's also Ercc Glaison, another guy who seems to be a reenactor. He also created some pinner's bones, and he's made these really great diagrams so you can see how the drawn wire was lent onto the bone and how it was sharpened. Some people say pinners held these bones between their knees as they worked, or they might have been strapped down to the thigh. There are various theories of how exactly they worked, but ultimately it was a bone to rest the wire on, to then sharpen with a file, to sharpen the shank into a point, and the head of the pin was a separate piece of wire that was wrapped around the shank, afterwards sometimes soldered. Okay, so if you want to find out more about pins, pinners, the whole shebang, head over to my Patreon site where I have done a more extensive blog about the world of pinning.
So I got a few pins today, obviously couldn't ignore them, ones that have got very obvious heads on them. And then look at this chunker. So handmade pin, 1400 to 1800. But the pin head there is just one quite large piece of wire. I mean, it may have been taller and some came off. It's a very chunky pin with a one twist around, you know, like it's gone round once there on the top of the shank. I guess it could have snapped, it could have been taller, but yeah, real chunker, love it. If I take enough pieces, surely at one point I'm going to be able to put a whole bellied bottle together, or a jug even. But here you see the salt glaze on this stoneware, very clearly crackled like this orange peel. That is indicative of salt glazed stoneware. So yeah, I used to import this stuff from Germany. And then in the 17th century, John Dwight worked out the recipe, so we started making it here too. But yes, it's going in the bag, obviously. While we're on the subject of detail, there's this here, which would have been part of a drainer or strainer. Supposed to be down here as well. Some nice pottery gets around. There you go, another detail. Thumbed edge of a vessel, so helped with the cooking vessel up. And then I noticed down here quite a chunky little bottle. Ooh, that's very nice applied lip on there. Look at that, hand blown. So you can see the neck where it finishes, and then this lip is applied separately. See how irregular that is. And a little drip there, I love that. So again, more details. Going in the bag, very well. Very nice. And for contrast, there you go, another piece of salt glaze, but just to show you the variation in the colours there and the different kind of glazes. Again, lovely piece. Leave that one here. Here's a nice example of something you can't have in this big conglomerate rock of different pebbles and whatever it is. It's this gorgeous, well, it looks like hand-painted delta. I'm not actually sure. It looks like a bit of a delta at time. Yeah, it's so beautiful. There's a little character in a boat there. Yeah, too bad. That's staying in the rock, I think. Well, that's an interesting one. That's a very long, straight hole in this oyster shell. This puncture. Usually we see squares or circles. And yes, it's that enduring Thames mystery. Are they man-made? Are they natural? What are they for? Lots of info about that online. But anyway, this is an interesting one. Very long shape. I mean, it could have clattered into something and smashed. But I think that's been cut. Look at that, nibbled away in little chunks. Love that. Keeping it. I was just whinging and lamenting about how I haven't had a coin today. What's this under here? It looks like a Maltravers folding to me. Or Richmond, let's have a look. Oh. Yep, think so. Wafer thin. Ridiculously thin. Oh well, so that breaks the coin drought for today. Can't tell like this if it's a Maltravers or a Richmond, but otherwise known as a royal farthing. Charles I. There you go, you can just see the Carolus or the Carol G. There we are, nice. Quite nice condition, if a little nibbled. Ready yourself for a pleasing glaze. It's a drip. It's saucy as hell. Look at that. Redware, whatever, storage jar, I don't know. You see some nice marks inside there. Look at that sauce. Absolutely lovely glaze there. Yep, taking it. Zooming in here on a piece of blue and white. Let's see. Pretty. Pretty little details on a saucer or a cup or something. Cute, huh? Inconsequential it may be, but I love finding little pieces of leather like this, offcuts, trim from shoes, or whatever it's from. Look at that. You can see where it's been very carefully holes from there, punch through, or pierce through. Yeah, love it. I'll keep it nice and dry. I'll keep it wet for a while and dry it out. And have a nice little piece of leather. There we go, there's a nice piece. You may have missed that. Might have just looked like a bit of redware with some glaze, but actually if you look there, there's some slip decoration on it. It's lovely slip, yellow slip here. Nice swirl and one there. Very nice piece of slipware, I love it. And in on a crest of a wave, this hopped over this lump here, and here we go. Let's see if we can work out exactly which pub or tavern that belonged to.